it's an issue that I have. Once again, I love Hispanics. I am Hispanic. I love them. Just everything. But the issue is, much like women with marriage, Hispanics with green cards is contingent on whether they're going to vote Republican or Democrat. And my issue is, if our values are so conservative, why is it that when you come here, you vote liberal and Democrat when you know that's going to support things like pro-abortion and like gay marriage and all of this jazz? And it's like you're backing down on your own religious, moral, Christian, societal values just to get material benefits for yourself, and that is reflective of a poor character that you don't necessarily want in any nation.
That is right.
You know what we need to do? No more illegal immigrants. We got to fucking deport them all. That's what we got to do.
I don't necessarily agree because,
Why?
Because immigrants, we do a lot of things.
Well, hold on. I did specify illegal immigrants. Okay. Although we should probably reduce the legal immigrants we allow in also substantially.
I agree in certain things of that, but again, I think the way the government is doing it right now, I don't necessarily agree the way they're deporting. Okay,
what are they doing specifically that you disagree with?
I just feel. I know this has happened all the time with all the presidents. I know that I'm not that stupid. I just feel like they're being too harsh to people, and that's why it's getting a bad rep.
I entirely agree with you. You. The issue is that they're trying to make this like huge propaganda of how brutal they're making it, but the numbers don't reflect the brutality. So it's almost like they're setting it up to fail in the first part, where it's like, okay, we want these people out for sure, but you're marketing it in such a terrible way that you're losing the public's like interest in it, which is like wholly on it.
I hate
But
that.
ask yourself why. Look what happened when Kamala got up and said, "Don't come here." They came by the millions. So they are showing a no-nonsense approach. Look, this is going to happen to you. You won't be able to get back into the country for 10 years.
True, but why don't they then target the people who are hiring the illegal immigrants? Why don't they target the welfare programs that basically funding? They should, but they're not doing it. They're making it as ugly and as harmful as possible for the public image of it, which is only going to hurt the cause. Meanwhile, they're not materially doing anything to actually get those numbers out.
I don't even understand. Look, there were deportations. There were deportations under Obama. There were deportations under Biden.
No,
Much of the media attention on the deportations, by the way, and they were apprehending. The way they were apprehending these people has not changed substantially ever since Trump became president. It's just there's political motive now because this is going to be like a point to sort of push people to the polls to vote Democrat in the upcoming election. And so there was none of this attention on ICE, really, at least to this degree, when Obama was president, when Biden was president.
It's a psyop. In 2016, CNN did a piece, look it up, and they were calling the illegal immigrants targets, and they were praising Obama, and they were acting like he was doing this great thing and protecting United States citizens. So it's just kind of crazy. Over the last decade, it's flopped, and now all of a sudden, all this negative media attention.
That's what I'm trying to say, because again, I'm not against ICE. I'm not against deportations because yes, a lot of people came here that shouldn't be here.
Awesome.
Let's just get that straight. And I'm an immigrant. Again, I love immigrant people. Of course, I work.
Wait, hold on. Everyone who crossed the border illegally or who is here illegally doesn't belong here. Not just the violent criminals. All of them. They all have to go.
Well, I don't agree with that. I came that way. Well, they brought me that way. I didn't have a choice though. They brought me.
Well, okay. So yes, obviously, if you're a minor and you're under the custody of your parents and they commit the crime, and you're secondary to that. But yes, you also, if you're here illegally, you're going to be deported too, or should be.
Well, again, but I try my ways to get situated. My husband is a U.S. citizen, and that's the first thing we did.
Well, now you're legally here. So
yeah, now I'm legally here.
Originally, though, you were here illegally.
Yes, I stay a lot.
Have your parents been deported?
No, they actually have a visa, tourist visa.
Well, that's the thing that I'm once again saying. It's like everyone's falling for the propaganda psyop. It's like you're once again looking at like these individuals that are coming over, but it's like who's ushering them in, who's giving them the welfare, who's giving them the Medicaid, who's giving them the promise. And when it comes to Obama, they counted turnaways at the border as deportations. They were flubbing the numbers, but in reality, the immigrants were still coming in at like extraordinary amounts.
Let's just talk that immigrants are still coming right
yeah,
now.
they've always capitalized on like illegal scab labor.
yeah.
This is a problem since the 70s, and it's only been multiplying.
I get a
so
lot
once
of
again, it's like
people.
blaming the individuals is not going to do anything because ultimately they're being incentivized to come
Hold on,
over.
you
have to kill the incentive to stop them from coming.
Whoa, hold on.
The
that's
government did
crazy.
incentivize
Wait,
them.
hold on. That's crazy. That's crazy policy advisement. So, okay, first off,
How is it crazy?
Well, hold on. I'll explain it. So, first off, if it is the case, and I think it is the case, that we aren't holding these companies responsible who are profiteering off of these illegal immigrants because you can pay them less or whatever, I'm 100% on board with you. They ought to be prosecuted too. I have no objection to that. But saying that the blame should only be placed on the systems in place that enable this, sure, we can address that too, but also there needs to be a mechanism to actually remove the individuals from this country.
I agree.
Ergo deportation.
There was a repatriation act that happened in the 1920s during the Great Depression where once they cut out welfare, once they cut out Medicaid, like 3 million Mexicans went back to Mexico immediately. Once you remove the mechanisms to keep them here, the incentives to come here, they go away because they can't assimilate without those mechanisms. Then you only retain those that can properly
Wait,
assimilate.
hold on. But so, okay, you're saying because they receive certain government benefits, that is the reason why they're here.
Yes,
Yes.
schooling,
No.
healthcare.
The same reason why there's so many homeless
Well, so,
people
hold
here,
on.
because they get
I
all the
would
benefits.
argue-
Can I ask? Can I ask though?
Hold on,
like,
one thing.
okay.
I would argue, even if all of those things were to disappear, most of the people that come here do so for economic reasons. Even if there weren't government handouts and they weren't receiving benefits, there's a couple other factors here. The United States is safer and it has a stronger economy. So should we just tank our own economy and make America unsafe so it's untenable for illegal immigrants to come here?
You just said it. Employment. Who's employing them? If they're only hiring Americans who are verified Americans, we wouldn't have this problem. They wouldn't come over here. There would be blockades.
Why are
They are
they? Why
coming
are
over.
these
In fact,
companies?
moreover, non-government organizations like HIS are the ones transporting
Hold
them
on.
over here.
Isn't
How
it
else do they
already
know how to get
illegal
here?
to employ? Like, isn't it already illegal to employ an illegal immigrant?
It is
Sure.
illegal.
So they're
They
doing it
do
illegally.
Come over
it.
here.
They
They
do
still
it
do it.
everywhere.
Yeah.
They do it everywhere. I mean, this is gonna. It's
that's
not
the
gonna stop.
point,
It has
yeah.
always happened. I mean, when I got here to the States, I got employed at 16 or 17. I got employed at a Mexican restaurant. They didn't ask me for an ID. They didn't ask me for anything, but just show up tomorrow at 7 a.m. And basically, I didn't know any English because I came from Mexico and I was just speaking Spanish. But yeah, I mean, that's never gonna stop. That has happened since again, like 2010.
So with your employees, I know that they're legally able to be here and whatnot because of their work visas, but are you paying them under the table?
No,
not?
they
Okay.
actually no. Like
Moreover,
everything is legal.
The entire process of illegal immigration, it's like a huge trafficking ring in and of itself, that the same corporations that are hiring these illegals are using their bodies, their organs, their sex, everything to basically fund their own non-government organizations,
Exactly.
the government.
And
So I'm
the
like,
worst
who
thing
are
is that we
these?
get paid very minimum. When I started working, I was getting paid, I think, $50 a day, working from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. $50 a day.
Yeah, and the employer should be prosecuted. Shono, you wanted to jump in?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say I don't know if illegal immigration completely demerits welfare programs because those also benefit non-illegal immigrants, if I'm not mistaken, in the U.S.
Sure, but it needs calibration. Right now, it's being completely abused.
We can't
But
just
you're
give
saying
everyone
to like
everything.
cut down those welfare programs?
For the people that are
Are you
illegal
saying
and
to
not
cut
paying
them
into
down
it,
or
correct?
cut them
Yes.
completely?
If they're
What
not paying
Are you
into it,
saying
why
to
would they
cut
get
them
it?
completely or cut them
No,
down?
you have to cut down who's on it. So basically, there's a bunch of Americans in the Rust Belt who are addicted to meth, who are struggling because there's no jobs in the Rust Belt, and they're not getting the welfare that they're supposed to get for all of the taxes and for all of the heritage that they have in this country. And instead, it's going to people who just arrived.
I do agree that those people should have priority with welfare programs.
It's not
but-
priority. It should go to them. That's what it was designated for.
We pay into it. We work hard.
Right, I understand
They're being
that.
disenfranchised. That's why the American populace is being destroyed. Women in that area are now just absolutely unstable, and this could certainly boost up the birth population if they were actually aided.
I just thought you were kind of criticizing those programs as a
No,
whole
I'm
under
for welfare.
existence.
I
Okay.
love welfare. I'm
Well,
fine.
actually, with welfare, I have a hot take on this. I think that when somebody signs up for any type of government assistance, while they're signing up for it, they should relinquish their right to vote.
Correct. That's true. Yeah, it's like you can't be dependent on the government and then vote to influence the government.
create that
I
dependency.
also
exactly.
think. I also think you should take a drug test.
Correct.
Oh, that's
Yes.
a big
Yes.
one.
I completely disagree with that because those individuals who are on those welfare programs are
And if
still
you fail the
completely
drug
subject
test,
to
you also want them
American
to help the people that are on
administration and the
drugs?
presidency. So they're affected by it. Should they not be
What do
able
you
to
mean?
contribute to like voting and everything?
No, because they would just vote for more free shit.
Correct.
But that's a
Okay, if you give a man a
individual, like, you have
fish,
the
he'll
right
eat
to
for
do
a
that.
day. If you promise a man another man's fish, he'll vote for you.
Not only that, it's like we are subject to that person's
everyone-
lack of
everyone
work,
votes
lack
for
of
what benefits
responsibility.
them.
We
Everyone.
become their slave.
Not all of
actually.
us.
Billionaires will vote for what benefits
How does
them.
banning abortion benefit me? That doesn't benefit me. How does
I'm
banning
not talking
slavery?
about you.
How does banning slavery and protecting these young black ladies right here? How does that benefit me? It doesn't. It
I agree,
doesn't.
and like we should vote
So-
for
Is
it
what
not
benefits
Some of us
you.
vote for other people
I
and
agree,
what would
but
be
some
good for
people
society.
Are you
vote for
saying that?
themselves.
Are you saying only black people have been enslaved, or I think all of us have been enslaved at some point?
Yeah,
It
yeah, no, at
benefits all
some
of
point,
us.
yeah.
I'm just saying, under the worldview you mentioned, like billionaires who vote for what benefits themselves, like that should also like not be allowed.
Yeah,
But
because
you can't always
because
tell
the
that
few
intention.
hundred or a low amount of thousand billionaires that live in America that swing elections
And
with their
also,
votes.
you could point out an
Definitely not their
exception of
funding.
someone who's reliant on a welfare program, who's like a man who would still vote for like things like to do with abortion that doesn't affect him. Like
I don't think
it's never
billionaires
that
should be
black and
able to
white.
be like international. I
feel
think
like
that if you're in
banning
this country
abortion
doing business,
only
you should be
affects
reflective of the heritage of this country. You shouldn't have a multinational corporation that's influencing multiple countries for their own commerce.
Now
I don't know what that has to do with what I
Yeah.
just
Hold
said.
on, really quick.
we got a little off